Are you planning your 2025 vacation? Think again. What if I told you that some of the most popular tourist destinations could actually ruin your trip? We're talking long lines, massive crowds, and experiences that don't live up to the hype. We're about to drop some truth bombs on you guys, revealing the places you might want to scratch off your travel bucket list. And trust me, this isn't clickbait. This is about saving you from a vacation nightmare. Stay tuned to find out why you should avoid these places at all costs. First on our list is a place you wouldn't expect, Venice, Italy. I know, Venice. It's supposed to be this romantic city of canals and gondolas, but guys, the reality is far from picture perfect. Venice is facing some serious problems, and I'm not just talking about the pigeons. Over-tourism is a huge issue, with millions of visitors cramming into this already crowded city every year. Imagine being shoulder to shoulder with tourists, just trying to walk down the street. And it gets worse! The sheer number of tourists is putting a strain on Venice's fragile infrastructure. We're talking about ancient buildings, bridges, and canals that are struggling to cope with the constant foot traffic. It's actually causing the city to sink. But that's not all. The increased boat traffic from all those gondolas and water taxis is eroding the foundations of the buildings and stirring up sediment in the canals. It's a recipe for environmental disaster. The local government is trying to implement measures to control the crowds, but it's an uphill battle. So, before you book that romantic gondola ride, think twice. Venice might not be the fairy tale destination you've always dreamed of. This next destination might surprise you, but not in a good way. Bali is facing some serious challenges, and it's not just the sunburn you have to worry about. Picture this: pristine beaches, crystal clear waters, and lush rice paddies. That's the Bali you see in the travel brochures, right? But behind this picture-perfect facade lies a dirty little secret: pollution. Bali is struggling to cope with the amount of waste generated by tourists. Plastic waste is a major problem, with beaches and waterways often littered with debris. It's heartbreaking to see such a beautiful place being trashed. And it's not just plastic. Air pollution is also on the rise thanks to the increasing number of cars and motorbikes on the island. The traffic can be insane, especially during peak season. The Balinese authorities are trying to address these issues, but it's a massive undertaking. They're promoting sustainable tourism practices and encouraging visitors to reduce their environmental impact. But it's going to take a collective effort from both tourists and locals to protect this paradise. So, next time you're planning a trip to Bali, remember to pack your reusable water bottle and be mindful of your waste. Chapter 3: Machu Picchu closed for business? Imagine arriving at your dream destination only to find out it's closed. That's the harsh reality facing many travelers who have Machu Picchu on their bucket list. This ancient Incan citadel is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and for good reason. It's an architectural marvel and a testament to a lost civilization. But its popularity might be its downfall. Machu Picchu is facing serious threats from over-tourism. The sheer number of visitors is putting a strain on the site's delicate ecosystem and ancient structures. The Peruvian government has been forced to take drastic measures to protect this treasure. They've implemented strict visitor limits and time slots to control the flow of tourists. This means you can't just show up and expect to waltz in. You need to book your tickets well in advance, and even then, you might not get the time slot you want. And once you're inside, don't expect to have the place to yourself. You'll be sharing the experience with thousands of other tourists, all vying for the perfect selfie. It's enough to make you want to scream. So if you're planning to visit Machu Picchu, be prepared to plan ahead and be flexible. And remember, there are plenty of other incredible Inca ruins to explore in Peru that aren't as crowded. Chapter 4: Santorini's big problem. Here's a question for you. What if your vacation turned into a nightmare? That's what's happening to some tourists visiting Santorini, Greece. Santorini is famous for its whitewashed villages, perched atop volcanic cliffs, overlooking the Aegean Sea. It's a photographer's paradise and a popular destination for honeymoons and romantic getaways. But Santorini has a big problem. Its infrastructure is struggling to keep up with the influx of tourists. The narrow streets and walkways are constantly jammed with people, making it difficult to get around. And don't even get me started on the donkeys. They're used to transport tourists up and down the steep paths, but they're often overworked and mistreated. It's not a pretty sight. The island's sewage system is also struggling to cope, leading to unpleasant smells and potential health hazards. Not exactly the romantic getaway you had in mind, right? The Greek government is aware of these issues and is working on solutions, but it's a slow process. In the meantime, tourists are being urged to be more mindful of their impact and to consider visiting during the shoulder seasons. Chapter 5. Barcelona says no to tourists. And finally, the most shocking destination you should avoid in 2025 is Barcelona. That's right, the city that was once a tourist haven is now cracking down on visitors. Barcelona is suffering from the negative effects of over-tourism. The city center is overrun with tourists, driving up rents and forcing locals out of their homes. The noise and pollution are also major problems. The local government has had enough. They've implemented a number of measures to curb tourism, including limiting the number of cruise ships that can dock in the port and cracking down on illegal vacation rentals. They're also trying to promote sustainable tourism by encouraging visitors to explore other parts of the city and Catalonia. They want tourists to experience the real Barcelona, not just the tourist traps. So if you're planning a trip to Barcelona, be prepared to face some challenges. You might have to book your accommodations well in advance, and you might not be able to do all the touristy things you had planned. But hey, that's all part of the adventure, right? Outro: think before you travel. So, before you book your next trip, think twice about these destinations. Over-tourism is a real problem, and it's ruining some of the world's most amazing places. But don't worry, there are still plenty of incredible destinations out there that aren't overrun with tourists. In fact, we're going to be featuring some hidden gems in our next video. Like and subscribe for more travel tips and updates, and stay tuned for our next video, where we reveal the hidden gems you should visit instead.